Hello guys, welcome to the Beijing Auto Show 2020. So today is September the 26th. After a long wait, finally everyone is gathering together at maybe the only ongoing international auto show this year in the world to see new cars coming out, to meet up with each other. And today, I'm going to show you the 3 distinctive stands from Geely Group. So this is a Geely Preface. It is actually the most important car for Geely this year. As you can see, up until tonight, the majority of the stand are showing the Preface only. The reason behind that is actually the Preface is the stock car for the 4.0 era, which means it is the second production car to be using the Geely 4.0 CMA modular architecture, and its design language will be applied for more upcoming cars of Geely. But, I mean, right now, just take one step back, looking at the car. The front grille, the sideline, it is clean and tidy, it is straightforward, and it is just powerful. But for me, what is more interesting is the size of the car. It is an A-class car, right? But it has a B-class size. It is over 4.7 meters long, and it is over 1.8 meters wide. And the wheelbase of this car is around 2.8 meters. It's humongous, right? But it is always Geely's strategy that you always have more values than the competitors for the money you're paying for. And it's working. So in this case, the size is much bigger than the competitors. So when you sit inside the car, you can't argue this is really luxurious and premium. Look at the materials they're using. Look at the full LED dashboard, the HUD, the Bose stereo. You can't imagine actually you are just paying A-class money for this car. And they have got side panel stitchings. I've never seen stitchings like this on a car of this category. Actually, they say that they have used a new design language called G-line, which means Geely line on the car, which means all the lines of the interior are curving, are twisting and expanding in the 3-dimensional space. And you can see this kind of design language all over the cabin. You can see a G-line here, you can see G-lines here. This is crazy. This is actually B-class or even premium B-class quality. And thinking of it, the price of this car haven't been launched yet, but Geely will definitely target it similar to the competitors, which means when the price is launched, this might be a new definition for A-class car market in China. Now we're at the lynk&co stand. To me, lynk&co is the best emerging car brand in the last 5 years. Thinking of it, it launches in 2016, and in 4 years, it has already got 6 cars in its product line. It has 1 EV concept car, it has 1 Chinese breed hot hatch, and it has 1 WTCR and new World Championship. All in 4 years, this is crazy. And the very first car which sets the cornerstone for the company is actually the lynk&co 01. This year it comes with a 2020 small update with a new design for the front and the back, with a larger touch screen and with a new steering wheel, all of which are preparing this car to the European market. It offers 2 engine options, the 1.5-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine and a 2-liter turbocharged engine which produces 190 horsepower for this car. So I've driven this car before. The engine or the performance is quite punchy and the ride quality is good. So it's a good value for what money you have paid for it. Thinking of it, now the car is coming to the European market and all the people in Europe. There is one other option for you now if you're thinking of a premium compact SUV car. And actually, the size is not compact. I think the size is proper. Okay. So one thing I'm really respectful for Geely is its devotion to the motorsport. Not only does it win the WTCR World Championship last year, but also in China, it has Geely Cup for both sim racers and amateur racers. And beyond that, for the Chinese Formula 4 cars, they're using the Geely engine. So I'm thinking, what are they doing with this heavy investment? This does not lead to direct sales. Probably they are just thinking, we want to make the brand look cool and full of technology capacity. And beyond that, they have come up with this babe. The Xeo3 Plus, the very first Chinese-born hot hatch or performance car with 245 horsepower, a 4-wheel drive system to cover 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in only 5.9 seconds. And look at it. This is a Champion Special Edition. Look at the metallic gray paint. Look at the carbon fiber spoiler and the skirts. It looks like a heavily modified car on the road, but actually everything you see is from the factory. And if you look inside, it's Alcantara everywhere, it's sporty elements everywhere, and all the comfort configurations, you name it, it has it. And thinking of the price, the starting price for this car is only 180,000 RMB, which is around 20,000 pounds. This is the perfect first performance car for Chinese petrol heads. And actually, with the four-wheel drive system potential, we are actually expecting a more powerful version in the upcoming years. So this is the Xeo3, and obviously this is a coupe SUV, which is very popular nowadays in China. Almost every brand has a coupe SUV in their family tree. So what differs Xeo3 from other cars in Lynk&Co family tree? I would say this is more urban, and you can see the design is like bolder and sharper. The color scheme is brighter, and you can see this kind of like sharp and edgy design elements on the outside. Clearly, you can't see this from Xeo1. It feels like, to me, it's like an urban outdoor wear. It's like North Face crossover with Ralph Simmons. And if you sit inside, instantly you feel the difference from Xeo1. It's more fashionable, it's more edgy. When you look at the bottoms, it has more edge in it. You have the brighter color. Yeah, it's talking to me actually. So you have like bright... Okay, I will turn this off. Yeah, it has a very smart, Siri-like system, and you have more like colorful stitchings. It feels to me not only more sporty, but more fashionable, more urban, I believe the customers for Xeo3 is maybe a little bit younger than that from Xeo1, maybe. I'm just saying maybe. And what is more interesting is actually Xeo3 is not the most expensive one in the Lynk&Co product line. The Xeo3 Plus is actually the most expensive one, but the Xeo3 for the whole series has the most powerful engine, which produces 254 horsepower. So we are now at the Lynk&Co Xeo concept. I've talked to the engineers. They say this concept car is actually 90% close to production, and it will be on sale by the end of next year. So performance-wise, this car is great. It has a range of over 700 kilometers. The acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is less than 3.9 seconds. And the battery is claimed to have a lifespan of over 2 million kilometers. It's great. Price-wise, I can't say how much it is, but the colleagues from Lynk&Co, they say this will be a properly priced car, so it won't be that expensive. So performance-wise, besides all the details, I think what you need to pay attention to the car is just the look. Firstly, look at the front. I think they have landed all the design philosophy and experience of Lynk&Co in the last 4 years onto the front. It's purely Lynk&Co, and it looks beautiful. And when you just take some steps back, look at the back end of the car, it's just marvelous, Look at the proportion. It's a combination between a sporty wagon and the SUV, and this car reminds me of the Porsche Panamera Sport Turismo in a good way. Me personally, I think the Panamera Sport Turismo is one of the best looking car on sale nowadays in China. So by the end of next year, when this car is on sale for a proper price, I believe this car, Lynk&Co Xeo concept, or Xeo, or another name, will be a hit. Okay, so we are now at Geometry, the new EV brand from Geely Group. You can see this brand is so young that they only have 2 car models in their product line, right? So the Geometry C is their latest SUV. Let me just take a break. So from the outside, you can see this car just looks bold and sharp, isn't it? The color is bold. The front to me, it just looks like a concept car directly to be put into the production. And the designers have played with the front light as well. They call it the sword of light. I don't know how do you feel about this car, but to me, the looks is absolutely literally great. Definitely, this is a car for younger customers, isn't it? And then when you sit inside, it's the same. You have to see the gray interior everywhere, which is very trendy, and you have this kind of floating center console with the element of hexagon everywhere. You even have the bottoms in the shape of a hexagon. And don't forget, this is just an entry-level car, right? But it has already got a L2 level pilot assistance system. So it's really a lot for the money you're paying for. But what is more interesting for this car is actually the mileage. So for around 130,000 RMB, you can get a mileage of 400 kilometers. And for the money of around 160,000, which is around 18,000 pounds, you can get a mileage of 550 kilometers, which is around 341 miles. That's actually not bad, and a lot of Chinese media have already tested it. So the actual mileage is similar to the claiming one. So thinking of it, for a regular Chinese young man, after 2 or 3 years of saving, you can buy an AV car which looks sharp, with quality interior and L2 level pilot assist system, and the mileage of the car is even maybe higher than the petrol car. That's really marvelous. So remember this brand, Geometry, the new EV brand from Geely, with a bookstore in the stand. So now we are at the stand of Polestar. It hasn't been long for Polestar to become an independent company from a brand. So by walking around their stand, it's very easy to learn their history. So we start with the Polestar 1. It is a high-performance Grand Tour with a hybrid powertrain to produce 626 horsepower and 1,000 Newton-meter torque. The powertrain has one 2-liter twin-turbocharged engine at the front, 2 EV engines at the back, and 1 ISG at the front again. So this car is actually the cornerstone for the company, but it is very expensive. So you don't see this car very often on the road. But for sure, nowadays, you can see more of this car both in China and on European market. This is actually the Polestar 2. It's a direct competitor against the Tesla Model 3. But actually, these two cars went to 2 completely different directions. You know, Tesla is Tesla, but Polestar 2 to me is an engineer's car. Look at how you can twist these holding suspension, you know. If you want to do it, you just turn the wheel and get your hands under it and dirty, and you can have 22 levels to control your own riding experiences. How engineered is that? It also reminds you of the racing route of Polestar back in the 1990s and 2000. And just getting to the cabin, you know, look at it. You can have a strong sense of minimalism and the Swedish design from it. Everything is grey and fabric, and most of them are coming from recyclable materials. The large touchscreen is just clean and tidy. And look at the material they're using for the chair. It's similar to the material you use for the scuba diving suit. So it's very waterproof. It's very easy to clean. Even if you have coffee stain on it, you can clean it up very easily. So this car is kind of like a statement of sustainability from Polestar to the world. And this year, just today actually, they have launched a new concept car, which is called Precept. This, for me, is one step further. Because like for the Polestar 1 and the Polestar 2, you can have a sense of Volvo in it. But for Precept, it's completely a new car. So firstly, the car is loaded with like smart autopilot technology. Volvo is working with Waymo to have the next generation autopilot technology. So for this car, with a smart zone around and the LiDAR on the roof, it is possible that they will put maybe a L4 level pilot assistance system in it. And just take one more step here. Sorry. Just to look at the interior. So there's a glass roof right from the front up until the end. And not only does the interior looks nice, and most of them are actually coming from recyclable materials. So they are working actually with a company called Bejing to have most of the materials be coming from, recycled fish nets to from PET bottles and so on. So this car is literally the new statement of EV cars.